Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here, back at it again. We've left the special per our viewer request because we didn't want to fucking do it, um, and now we're back into the films like we were supposed to be doing. Back at it with movie 5, Pokemon Heroes. I don't what. Oh,
Pokemon
oh
Heroes,
don't,
Pokemon Heroes.
where's the
Oh
gun at?
God.
Where's the gun?
Sorry.
I need the gun to shoot the hedgehog in the face. Also, because if I don't shoot him, he's gonna take my guns in the next game. So I don't want to do this.
Oh no.
So yeah, we're gonna do Pokemon Heroes. What is its Japanese English translated title?
Pokemon Guardian Gods of the City of Water, Latios and Latias.
Huh. Alrighty then. So, Tyrone, if you will, give us that plot summary.
Pokemon Heroes, movie 5. So, there's a town out there called
The wetlands.
the Alto Mare. Yeah, Alto Mare. And in Alto Mare, there was this trainer who used a Kabutops and an Aerodactyl to attack the city a long time ago. Fossilized Pokemon were super powerful, and the only ones that could fight them off were the legendary Pokemon Latios. Well, Latios had to give the rest of its energy in order to destroy the two Pokemon, and thus what remains of Latios was a thing known as the Soul Dew. Also left behind was its two children, Latios and Latias. Afterwards, though, they have traversed the city, and two Team Rocket members are searching the research of this entire area, and they have gone to Altamare in order to collect information about all of this. Meanwhile, we cut to Ash, Misty, and Brock. Ash and Misty are competing in this water race. When they compete in the water race, they end up in the city for a while, and because they're in the city for a while, they end up noticing several actions taking place, mostly Ash and Pikachu, where they meet with this girl. The girl doesn't really talk much, but she is being pursued by these Pokemon, Espeon and I can't remember, Ariados?
Yeah,
Espeon and Ariados. And while being pursued, Ash and Pikachu and the others end up saving her. And after saving her, she ends up vanishing. Ash goes through a really long and quite catchy chase scene. After that, though, they end up finding out that the mysterious girl is known as Latias. When Ash confronts the girl before, the girl is unfamiliar with Ash. That's because Latias takes the form of Bianca, a girl that knows a lot about Latias, and that's why Latias transformed into Bianca, because it's the one human she knows the most. Along with this, though, Latias and Latios basically show Ash and Pikachu a hidden garden accompanied by what I feel is one of the greatest songs in the entire movie. And while playing with Latios and Latias, they also end up getting visions from Latios telling about various things that the others can see. So their whole gimmick is that Latios can see things and send those images to Latias and vice versa. Well, obviously, during the nighttime, we see that the two Team Rocket members, whose names are Annie and Oakley, end up going in using their various Pokemon, Sneasel, and I can't remember the other Pokemon, but they end up
taking... You're talking about Espeon and Ariados?
Espeon and Ariados. I'm sorry, I got the villain Pokemon confused. Sorry about that. But
Tyrone's been drinking, folks. You gotta excuse him.
I'm sorry.
Pass the champagne.
So anyway, what ends up happening is that they're able to sneak in and gain control of the energy from the Soul Dew. But what ends up happening is that I believe Oakley the one that got too much power out of it.
Yeah, Oakley.
Yeah, Oakley ends up getting the power from the Soul Dew and gets too much power out of the Soul Dew. It ends up controlling the Kabutops and Aerodactyl that attacked the town once before. It's up to Ash, Pikachu, and Latias while Latios is fighting to go in and save them all. And when they fight off against Oakley, the power-drunken Oakley. They end up fighting her off as well as the Kabutops and the Ariados. But the problem is that the Soldu has already been corrupted with too much power. Tidal waves end up attacking the city along with the Kabutops and Aerodactyl. And at this point, Latios, the brother one, feels like he needs to work together with Latias in order to stop the imminent threat from happening to the town. Latios puts a little bit more energy in than Latias, and that ends up costing Latios its life. And the same thing that happened to their father happens to Latios. So Latios basically dies in this moment.
Oh,
but
no.
It's what?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Oh, but it's reassured that much like his father, he's protecting the entire town with his sacrifice, and the Soldu is restored. After that point, though, Ash gets on the boat with Misty and Brock, and then Bianca ends up following Ash in order to greet Ash goodbye, and ends up kissing Ash. Or was it Bianca, or was it Latias? No one knows, and apparently Brock is extremely jealous. But at that point, they basically ride off, and the movie basically ends there.
Oh, wait, sorry. It's a little too early. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, Pokemon Heroes.
For folks.
So, I'm going to let Tyrone and Richie give their thoughts and opinions first before I say what I need to say.
Oh, God.
Richie, you can go ahead first.
Yeah. Anyways, so I definitely enjoyed this movie better than movie 4.
Oh, yeah, that's not even a question.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, I have to state the obvious for the folks, because it'll be like, oh, you think 4 is better than 5 and stuff like that. But anyways, so I think it's better than 4. Should not be a doubt. Now, before I get into the small positives, and by small positives, I mean, like, it's not that I think there wasn't that much positives. It's just because I can only describe as much because I'm not as, compared to these fine gentlemen, I'm not as
watch
brainy about. I'm not as brainy as.
Who said I was a gentleman?
Damn! Did you just insult yourself?
No, Tyrone, you opened your mouth and you didn't do me any favors.
All right, you're one insane gentleman. There you go. Anyways,
there we go. He got it.
There we go. All right, so I think the problem I have a little bit is just the script, at least for the dub, was a little bit off, because this is actually the one movie where I look at 4Kids and I'm like, the fuck you guys doing? Because, for whatever reason, they decided to throw out the backstory. And for those of you that might be wondering, what backstory? Well,
I was going to get into that at the beginning of the film.
I figured Richie was going to talk about it because he always does that.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the film, I didn't notice I was watching. Apparently, what I was watching was someone taking the Japanese animation and then putting the dub audio over it. So I actually saw the cutscene in the beginning, and I went, oh, I guess they just ignored this in the original. In the dub.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
But go ahead.
What I don't understand about it is that the backstory that they cut out was actually essential for at least understanding what the backstory between the Pokemon, because not every, because I'm pretty sure there was like a few movies where they didn't go too in depth about it, but at least in almost every movie, they always talk about like the background of the Pokemon. I mean, legendary Pokemon in mind. They always tell you, how either this Pokemon was created or how it came out to be. It protects people and stuff like that. So I don't understand what the thought process was from 4Kids to cut this out, because it was essentially important to what the movie was about. You could probably say, it's the time in the movie, but it's like, I don't really think that's a good excuse, because we've seen longer movies. So I don't know. That's just the one gripe I had. Obviously, got to point out the positives. The music was great. I did enjoy Laius and Latios. And I kind of did like the whole ship in the movie. I thought that was pretty unique for what it was.
What are you talking about, Richie?
Oh, goodness.
Two. I was talking about only one person.
No, he meant you said ships, and Terrell was trolling you.
It's all right. Keep going. I did want to mention real quick about the little backstory that 4Kids took out. Is the backstory implying that Latios and Latias used to be humans at one point?
I think that's what, because even at the end, I guess it's just a slight nudge to that, where Bianca Bianca kisses Ash, and they don't know if it's Bianca or Latias, which most people think it's Latias, obviously, because she had a better connection with Ash than Bianca did. But I think the movie is implying, too, that is trying to nudge at the fact that Latios and Latias could have been humans at one point that turned into Pokemon.
I could read that off if necessary.
Real quick,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, before you do that, real quick, I just also want to mention the reason why it's also a little ambiguous as far as the Bianca situation, even though everyone else does lean to Latias, is that the gift that Bianca gives, that Latias gives him, which is a painted picture of Ash and Pikachu, which is weird because, as far as we know, Latias don't know how to paint. So that means, at the very least, Bianca drew the picture, which then makes you wonder, when the fuck did that happen? Why did that happen? So there is an implication that maybe Bianca was feeling some type of way, even if the movie doesn't show it. But anyways, go ahead and explain it to the people, Richie.
All right. So basically, what the backstory was that they cut out, which I still don't understand. Basically, it starts out with Annie and Oakley flipping through the last few pages of the book that they steal, which is what we see in the dub. But in the Japanese version, what we see is a number of pages, and this is a direct quote, by the way, so this is not my full thoughts or full memory, but we see a number of pages from the book as the legend of Latios and Latias is narrated to us. We're told that a young couple was walking on the beach one day when they happened upon two young children, a young girl and her older brother. The couple took the children in as their own and showed them a lot of love and affection. One day, a horrible rain came from the sky and spread its evil across the city. All seemed lost for the people.
Sorry.
Yep, all seemed lost for the people until the two children revealed themselves to be the legendary Pokemon Latias and Latios. Using their combined powers, they were able to repel the evil rain and save the city. Then they gave the couple as they call it, the drop of the heart in the Japanese version, as a thanks for raising them all that time. And the two Pokemon departed. And since then, the city has referred to the two Pokemon as gods, obviously, because that's part of the whole thing. So yeah, that's the backstory.
Okay. So either they've always had the ability to turn into humans, or more so, maybe they were testing to see if there were good people around them, and that was the justification. Be like, they're nice people. We want to protect those nice people, so we will, kind of thing. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I guess I should get into my feelings, because although I still enjoy movie 5 and I still think it's better than movie 4, I don't like it as much as I used to. It's not even, and ironically enough, it's more for the second half than it is for the first half, because the second half I think almost didn't need to happen the way it does. Considering Annie and Oakley's goal was to steal the Soul Dew and get Latios and Latias, and considering they were pretty competent at getting Latios and Latias without really putting in much effort, it seemed like the whole using the defense mechanism that actively warns them in the description not to fucking use it because it's like a kamikaze kind of thing. I feel like it was just a contrived way to make the movie stretch out, and it kind of, there's no real reason for it, in my opinion. I feel like, and the sad thing is, I don't know if there was a better way to do it, but I don't like the way they did it currently. Like, the way they did it currently, making it feel like, to me, that there was no need to go use the defense mechanism. Especially, like I said, you already knew that, and you were like, maybe it's just a story to stop people from using it. Well, how often does that come up? Where I need to use this fucking god tier weapon that for some reason has the ability to control the water in the city and revive fossilized Pokemon back to life, but at the risk of forcing a giant wave upon the city that the device is at the time.
I feel like they should have just went ahead and trashed this item.
Yeah.
Throw the whole item away.
Really?
Yeah, just, I don't know about that.
Right, and just because I didn't get to say my part about how I felt about the movie.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Because I know you wanted us to go first. This movie, I feel like I like this movie for how surprisingly dark it is for a Pokemon movie. But one of the issues I have here is that I feel like, and Richie touched on this already, I feel like the movie wasn't using its full potential to be as dark as it could be. And that's mostly due to the fact that it cut out a lot of content. Like you stated, Richie, that the entire backstory was completely cut. So you already lose this fresh gold opportunity that the movie had if you're watching the dubbed version. Another problem with the dubbed version is that Kenny and Oakley aren't even Team Rocket members, technically.
Yeah,
In the dubbed version, they're Team Rocket members, but in Japan, they're not affiliated with Team Rocket at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a difference. And I think they did that because we recognize, we're like the Western audience knows Team Rocket. Plain and simple. If there's some evil people doing some bad things to Pokemon, we can connect it to Team Rocket. And it's easy to do that.
Well, technically in the English dub, if I remember correctly, they were just called spies for Giovanni. So it doesn't say exactly that they're part of Team Rocket, but they have some sort of affiliation with the boss.
Where in Japan it says Annie and Oakley were not affiliated with Team Rocket. Period. Though
they just thieves.
Were. Right, they're just some bitches that wanted to steal the soul dude.
Yeah, but I don't think that takes away from anything really.
Oh no, it does.
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
no.
it's one of the things to really point out if you're watching.
Not.
This is one of the movies. Now that you start to talk about it, Terrell, this is one of those movies that has a big split in dub versus sub. Like probably the biggest split I think we'll see out of all the movies in terms of what version you watch. Because,
okay, well I guess I would be curious. Are there any other differences?
I see the original Sodu may not be the soul of Latios inside it at all because it appears after Latios dies anyway. So it's like it's still there. So it's like we don't know if it's the soul or not. It's implied that it is, but it's not set in stone. Whereas in America, they just outright say it's his soul.
Okay. See, what I don't understand is if they're gonna say that for the soul, but if the reasoning to cut out the backstory was because of potential darkness, then that's just kind of really inconsistent on their part. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, I do like how dark this movie can get, though. I mean, first of all, a Pokemon dies.
I agree.
Yeah, a Pokemon dies and does not come back. Like that, I commend the movie for doing that.
Well, I guess before you say that, we need to talk about that credit scene. Remember when they're leaving on the boat, and Ash looks up into the sky, and you see Latios, but you also see two other Latios with her.
Oh, that.
What is that?
I'd like to say it's like the spirit of them watching over, probably. I don't know.
The way it's portrayed is so confusing to me. Because we know he's dead, and we know their father has been dead. So I don't really get it. And that was the thing that kind of bugged me at the end of that film. I was like, I don't know how to feel about this, because I don't really get what they're going for.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like, yeah, that's one of my big problems. It would have been better if they had just not shown Latios at all, because you're supposed to fully appreciate the fact that he gave his life for the cause. Granted, I'm always confused why Latios left and Latios didn't. They both did the same thing.
Oh, because Latios was damaged from the abuse he took literally like moments before.
So it probably cost him more energy, yeah.
Well, he didn't know. He just didn't have the energy to give. That's what it was. He got damaged. He was sitting in that machine for a good, 20 minutes just being shot constantly. Had burn marks and everything. So
this is also the movie where Ash tells Pikachu to basically thunderbolt a person.
Well, technically, it's Espeon's fault because Espeon runs behind Annie and Oakley on the boat. And that's who I think he was aiming for. They just got shocked as collateral damage because they were stupid.
But I like the idea that Ash is just like, Pikachu, fuck him up.
I think that just means Sauron is a psychopath. That's what that is.
Oh,
no, I just like one day just the idea of Ash just being like, all right, screw the bullshit. We're just gonna go ahead and go in. Also, did you guys notice an extreme lack of Misty and Brock in this movie?
I mean, that's kind of the other issue, isn't it? The fact that for Misty and Brock's, well, at least Misty's last film, she gets her little moment, and she does win the race in the beginning of the film.
I would say underutilized.
But they're both definitely underutilized. They're not even
You know
there
what?
originally.
Oh, wow, I forgot Misty and Brock were even in the movie.
That's because they weren't.
They're in the movie.
No. They're not in the movie. Like, if you were to count the amount of time, like how long the film is, and then subtract the amount of time when you see Misty and Brock, I bet you there's like a good 30 minutes or so where you don't see Misty and Brock.
Hell, I don't even think they're in the movie box in America, like on the box art in America.
Oh, they are, but they're like they're in the corner.
Oh. I see them now.
Yeah, like they're in there, but they're just not.
They're in there, but they're like, ooh.
I don't know. Like, when I rewatch this film, I think it has great. The aesthetic for this film is awesome. I love the fact that they base it off of. I guess this is Venice. Is my guess?
It's Venice.
Like, the way it looks in the music for that area is really fucking good. My issue is more along the lines of not obviously underutilizing Misty and Brock. I don't think Annie and Oakley are that interesting of characters. They are, like, aesthetically they are, but real, like, personality wise, they're just variations on Jessie. Like Anne with the blonde drills is essentially Jessie, but just more vain about her appearance and about, like, pretty shit. And Oakley
so basically
is Jessie,
a carbon copy.
But yeah, and Oakley is just Jessie, but more intellectual, but power hungry as shit. Like, they're not really interesting.
We're just coming off of at the time of this recording, we're just coming off of the Mewtwo Returns thing. So it's just like, I'm getting sick of all these athletic, I'm a badass,
I'm a bad bitch.
Right, I'm a bad bitch female antagonist. It's like, okay, we get it.
Well, it's not even
I
that.
don't know.
I think the only interesting thing about them is the fact that you can tell they really care about each other. But it's such a small plot point, and it doesn't add to anything, and it happens so late that it's like, whatever. And I guess the two biggest disappointments are probably Lorenzo and Bianca themselves. Lorenzo, I understand he's pretty much exposition, so he's not going to be relevant.
Yeah.
Bianca, I don't know what the fuck. I feel like she only exists because of misdirection.
Latias needed someone to transform into.
The whole time, I think the whole point is to go, how many times can we mislead you with Bianca and Latias? And the core problem is that they don't act the same, and Latias doesn't speak. So it's very easy to tell in a sequence, just based off of minor motions, of which is which. Also, because we see Latias way more than we see Bianca. Actually, I think we see Latias as Bianca more than we see Bianca.
Well, if you're not confused, that is.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not hard. It's very easy not to be confused.
I think they have like
but I'm saying
I think they wear like hats, and or like one of them, Bianca wears the hat.
Bianca wears the hat. You never see Latias with the hat.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think I didn't have any issues with this film until literally the second half. As soon as they capture Latios, that's where a lot of my issues gonna come in. And like I said, it's because I feel like they just went out of their way to give them a reason to come up with a fake reason to go, yeah, we need you to go over there and activate the weapon that you don't really need to activate, that for some reason is the defensive mechanism, is a kamikaze defense mechanism. Also, revived Kabutops and Aerodactyl are not that threatening, especially Kabutops, who gets bubble beamed in the face by a Politoed and Corsola, and you don't see that motherfucker until the movie ends.
Yeah, that's what Tyron. That's what I was looking at.
But yeah, it's just Terrell, I gotta agree with you on that too. It's like the biggest threat here is just an oversized Kabutops and an Aerodactyl, and it's like, so like Ash and the others fought Entei one movie. Like they fought a giant Celebi, corrupt Celebi, and an Entei before this. So this is very underwhelming.
Yeah, like the action sequences are pretty cool. Like them using the water things from the beginning of the film to get through.
I like that. Yeah.
Also find it kind of dumb that Oakley was smart enough to lock down the entire city, but wasn't smart enough to lock down the fucking the museum that she was hiding in. Like, because literally after Latias blows the water away, they literally just run into the building, and you're like, why wouldn't you have locked that place down? You locked everything else down. The fuck? I do think the effects in this film are really good, especially the water effects and everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Visually,
like
great.
you couldn't argue. It's a beautiful ass film.
Yeah, the hidden garden and the chase scene are really good scenes, and they use really good music. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
the soundtrack.
yeah. Visuals and soundtrack, it's fucking great. I still
It's
think, I
always
still,
it's always top notch. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like I
but
think the song was "Chase the Girl" or something. The one where Ash is chasing after Bianca, basically.
yeah. Well, it starts off with him chasing Bianca, and then he starts chasing Latias because they switch on him.
Yeah, because it's like this, like you said before, the movie takes place in a Venice, like Italy type of situation. So they got the music to reflect that perfectly, and I love it.
Right. It's just at the end of the day, it's more of like to me it's like it's a mediocre film that gets boosted up because of its visuals and soundtrack. Like if they were just in a grass field area and the music was just kind of like okay, I don't think this film would get praised as much as it does because the villains aren't super interesting. The only thing that really makes it stand out is the fact that all the Pokemon dies at the end, and there's some Pokemon or possible shipping in a film, which really doesn't mean shit because it's a film and it's a Pokemon film at that. So it's like, yeah, I don't think I care that much.
What were the settings of the last four? I don't know, Mr. Dog. Let me ask it first. What were the last? No, but what were the last settings in the last four movies? I think movie one took place in what, like on the
island, pretty
like
much.
on the island, right?
Essentially, an island in a giant building.
Yeah, movie
thing.
movie two took place in like a village.
Movie two has the most variation.
Yeah, four
Movie
other
three,
islands. But they're
yeah,
all
all the
islands.
five.
Although I would say movie three is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, movie three has more imagination with the one area that they use, though.
And movie four is just a fucking forest.
And movie
that's all there is
four,
to it.
just a fucking forest.
Like
So yeah, this movie was very versatile in the way it used its new setting.
This is the most ambitious of like landmarks they're using. Because this is the first film where they're basing it off of like an actual. Actually, I think this is the first movie that involves a giant city anyway.
Yes, it is.
That's true.
Which is funny because that would become the norm for the later films. Actually,
yeah.
Which for some actually now I think about it, movie 6 is the only film that doesn't do that. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
because movie 6 they're just sort of like traveling from place to place.
Well,
movie 8 technically doesn't do that as well.
Well, you could debate that.
So yeah, I mean, sort of.
You can debate it. I see where you're going, but you can debate it. That's all.
We'll touch on it when we get to it. But just like with Heroes, if I had anything to add on this one, because like I want to say more about it, just only because I do like the dynamic, considering that this is where the Hoenn Pokemon make their introduction. Out of all the movies that introduce like a new gen of Pokemon, I think this one did it in a way to where I could respect how they introduced Latios and Latias.
I still think I think unfortunately it still continues the trend that legendary Pokemon are weak as shit.
Yeah, they are a bit underwhelming. I will add on that though, because they get their butts kicked.
Because movie 4, their shit gets wrecked. Movie 2, I wouldn't say Lugia kind of went down like a punk. Movie 3 is okay. Movie 3 is fine. Although the movie 3 really is an Entei, but you get the point.
Right.
Yeah.
It's mostly unknown created Entei. Yeah.
So we're continuing the running trend that legendaries ain't shit, which is probably the reason why I was like, you really need to use the machine considering you caught Latios without even trying. You caught Latios with a fucking Ariados and an Espeon. Like, the fuck? Like, that's not... Most people would say that's insane. Which is why people find it ridiculous that in Gen 4, Tobias had these overpowered Pokemon, and you're like, I don't know, Latios seems pretty easy to catch based off of this film.
Right.
Yeah.
But
this is also the first movie that doesn't in America that doesn't use a number.
To be
it also went straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair though, that issue as far as numbering is concerned is not just a Pokemon issue. Like they do this a lot with the other notable franchises.
Well, yeah, but
that's probably
at this
true.
point, we're at movie 5. You really need to start putting numbers
And I
behind
don't
each
know.
of them.
Actually, I don't think they use numbers anymore after this. Do they?
Yeah, I don't know why, but
Yeah,
around like
movie
5 or
4.
6.
Well, movie 4 was like movie forever. It's
Yeah,
a play on words.
they used it as a pun, and that's only because they could get away with it. You can't really do that for movie
Right.
6 or 5.
And the
Right.
pun was whatever.
Why, you feeling some type of way,
Yeah.
Richie? What's wrong, man?
Well, I mean, bad pun, bad movie.
Why have you
Oh! Savage.
All right. Well, yeah, I was about to say I actually, in a way, I do like it though, because it's. I feel like it is a breath of fresh air from some of the stuff that we've been used to at this point. So from what we got introduced to at this point, it's not like the city aspect. It's like Terrell said before. It's the presentation. The presentation gives this whole movie some life that I don't think the other movies had to them.
I guess. Well, for the sake of this, since this is our last Johto film, and we need to do this.
And technically, this is our last OG film too.
Well, that's true.
Rip.
So what we're gonna do? Of the OG films, how would you rank them? And then how would you rank the Johto films? So
Ooh.
I'll go first because I already have both of my orders. If we're talking just the Johto films, which are movies 3, 4, and 5, it's 3, 5, and 4. That's my ranking for the Johto films. If you're talking all 5 films, I think it's movie. I'm probably gonna say movie 3.
For number 1.
Yeah, 3 is number 1.
Well, that's respectable. I can
2
agree.
is number 2. 5 is number 3.
Oh, tough one coming up. 1 and 4.
Honestly, I think I would say 1 is number 4 and 4 is number 5. So that's my those are my 2 rankings. So whoever has theirs next can go next.
Go for it, Tyrone.
Richie. Ah, damn it. Okay, my favorite.
He's like, fuck me!
Okay, if we're going from least to greatest, my least favorite one obviously is movie 4. Out of all of the movies, movie 4 is my least favorite. Movie, I want to say movie. I'm gonna go ahead and say movie 1 comes after that. Movie 2 comes after that. Movie.
You only got 2 left, 3 and 5.
Movie 5, yeah, I would say movie 5 comes after that, and obviously 3 is my favorite. So 4, 1, 2, 5, 3.
So 5,
3 is the best. 4 is the worst.
So 3, 5, 2 are your top 3.
Yes, the 2, 5, and 3 are my big ones.
God, that's
So
fucking
essentially, we
confusing.
share our same top 3. It's just that I put 2 above 5,
Yeah.
and you don't.
Yeah, but no matter what happens, 4 I think is the worst for
Okay.
both.
Now, what about just as Johto films, which is just maybe
Okay,
3, 4,
for
and 5?
just the 3, 4, and 5, I think if we're just doing Johto films alone, if we're going from least to greatest, the least obviously being movie 4, the one that's better than that one would be movie 5, and then it would be movie 3. So 4, 5, 3.
All right, Reggie.
All right. Well, the way I'm going to do is to say the movie titles because, to be quite honest, I was.
Yeah, that might be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be easier for the folks that are watching this video that are probably like, wait, what? 3, 5, and all this other shit. Anyways, so
Right.
number 1 is not a surprise, but number 1, I'm going to go with the Entei movie.
Okay.
So there is that. Number 2, I think for number 2, I'm gonna go with the Lugia movie. So
Okay.
let's see, number 3. Gonna go with number 1. So basically 1, 2, 3, but reversed. For the last
Okay.
2. Yeah, for the last 2, number 4 is the Latios movie, and the last one is obviously the Selby movie.
So you're the
there's that.
only one between the 3 of us who had the Latios movie not in their top 3.
Well, the only reason why I did that was because when I was thinking about it when you guys were talking, I wanted to base the factors, but one of them was the watching experience because I watched the other movies a lot more. Not the Selby movie, by the way. That's the only movie I don't really watch as often. I say like I say
Nobody
like
does.
well, yeah. But one time I watched it out of curiosity, and the second time was because my cousin had it on his TV. So I'm like, whatever. But yeah, that's why I placed it low because it's not. I don't think it's a bad movie. But just that I watch the other movies way more often, and I just have a lot more, a lot better memory for those movies and good experiences.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, like for movie 4, the reason why movie 4 is low for me is I've only seen movie 4 3 times. And the last 2 times I've seen it were both for reviews. Because I reviewed, because I already reviewed movie 4 before. The last 2 times I've seen 4 is only for review. The first time was the first time I saw it. Movie 5 I've seen multiple times just because we own the DVD for it. And usually movies, and the only reason why, and then movie 1, which the only reason why it's above movie 4 is because I'm at least more tolerant to watch movie 1. Although I don't particularly want to watch either one of those movies again, if need be. So moving out of that, considering where we placed each of those films.
The Joe films. The Joe films.
Oh yeah, the Joe films. 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, the Joe films. All right, Joe films. So basically, the Joe films, just to make sure, are free through 5, correct?
Yeah. So Entei, Celebi, Latios.
Okay. All right. So I'll make this one real quick. First one is Entei. Second one is Laios and Latios, and number 3 is Celebi. There you go.
Yeah, it's essentially we were all gonna agree on that.
Yeah.
So now, to get to the point at hand, what do we give movie 5 out of a 10 score ranking? And I will go first. I had to rack my brain about this one because originally I was thinking meaner than what I'm thinking now. Because I think originally I gave movie 1 is my lowest score. Well, I guess if you count the special, movie 1 and the special are my lowest scores. I think I gave them like a 3 and 4 respectively. I probably would give 5 probably like a 6. A 6, 5.5 is where I'm hovering around. And only really because that second half just kind of kills me. And a lot of people say I'm nitpicking. And to be fair, I might be nitpicking. But like, it's my opinion, and 2, it just kind of takes me out of the viewing experience. And Pokemon films already do that enough as they is because of them being Pokemon films. I just think movie 5 gets a lot more praise than it deserves purely because there's a death in the movie. And although, okay, fine, I get it's a mature thing, if it's not, and to be fair, I don't even have issues with the death, but my point is that just because a show has a death in it doesn't automatically make it a 10 out of 10. Like, you gotta earn that. Latios, I will give Latios credit, he earned that. I just don't think it's as good as people say it is, personally. I think the villains are boring. I think they contrived the story a little bit for the sake of plot convenience. Considering this is Misty's last film, she's not that important into it. I feel like she's underutilized. What saves it is its aesthetics, its visual and its sound design, which are both fucking amazing. But for right now, I'm leaning at about a 6 for it. So whoever wants to go next, can go next.
I'll go.
Tyrone? Yeah, Tyrone.
I heard you was like, I'm volunteering you. Fuck you, I'm gonna go first anyway. I'm going first. You can't make me not go first, man.
Yeah. So good.
I go. I like that idea. But how about this? I go. So I'm giving this movie a 7. The reason being, I actually do like this movie. Like, on its own, I do like the movie. My issues with Pokemon Hero, to me, feel like the movie, I feel like, could have potentially been a much better movie if the movie hadn't stepped on its own toes and held itself back, because there is a lot of juicy, dark material you could have used for this Pokemon movie, and it retreats on it so much. Even if you include the Japanese parts with the backstory behind Latios and Latias. Even if you include that, I still feel like this movie could have gone darker. And I know it's Pokemon. How dark can you get with it? But just like what Terrell said, just because a death is in it doesn't justify it being a top seller or anything. I feel like the movie in itself could have used the death in a way to where it really hit you, because it doesn't hit anyone except for maybe Latias and maybe Ash and the others. Like, it hits the characters in the movie, but the audience members aren't truly affected by the death, because one, you see that the spirit of Latios is still there watching over instead of just completely being absent. And that's important, because when you kill off a character in fiction, the idea to make their death worth being a death is to actually kill them off. No sign of them is there, because then it has the audience reflect on what that character did while in the source of them being in the movie. So I feel like character development was put on a very generous, oh, he died but situation, rather than a he died, that's it, it's over. But you as the audience member still remember what that character did. And again, this movie underutilizes the characters that it had with Misty and Brock, as well as the antagonist. I felt like Ash was the only character being physically active in this movie. And even him felt like, okay, the movie's going on without him. The reason that this game got such a high score, however, though, is because the movie is putting in a legitimate effort to go. It's putting in a legitimate effort to make a story, and while that story isn't the greatest story of all time, it at least stays consistent.
Richie?
I think the grade I'll give this one is about the same as Tyrone, a 7. And the reason why I put that is because, well, I want to explain from like the time of going from movie 4 to number 5. So I'm going to give this a short version, but basically, my expectations were looking for something good after watching movie 4 for what it was. So when I see movie 5, when I saw movie 5, it's like
movie 4 was so bad it bumped the grade of the next movie after it.
Because originally I was gonna give this around like a 6, so it pretty much just bumped it up by like a point. But no, I'm not gonna try and shit on movie 4 a whole lot, because I want to be fair at least. But the experience from 4 to 5 was better, so I had to put that into the grade. So here are my positives for the movie. Basically, visuals were great, especially for the time the movie came out, which was, if we want to go with the America release, it would be 2003, although technically it came out 2002. So anyways, animation was great, music was great. I did enjoy I kind of did enjoy the thieves for what it was, because at least it wasn't just Team Rocket all the time, although there were improvements that they could have made as far as like relevancy is concerned, and how maybe a little more useful, but I know some people disagree about that. And of course, obviously, considering that this is the last OG film, pretty much gonna miss. You're pretty much gonna miss the other two, Misty and Brock, afterwards. So that brings into my next. The first negative is how underutilized they were in this movie. And to be fair, that's not movie 5's problem. It's more so of how they've done up to this point, because there was only one film up until movie 5 where they actually did something. So, and the other thing is not necessarily the movie's fault, but just Miramax and 4Kids' direction with the movie. I did not like how they cut out the backstory. That was pretty much essential to how the movie was set up. So not seeing that in the English dub was a little bit confusing, and the potential reasoning that you could come up for it, if you were 4Kids, probably would have been a bad one per se. So overall, I give it a number 7. It was an enjoyable movie. There were some areas they could have improved, but I don't think the improvements would have like the improvements would have mean a lot more, but I think it was decent for what it was. And obviously the ship, um, I think I think a lot more. I think a lot of people just watch the movie just for that than the actual movie itself, which is kind of sad because it's not bad. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about the shipping because there's not a lot there. It's a kiss. That's literally all it is.
Well,
not even like a mouth kiss, just like a cheek kiss.
It was a kiss, and Ash is retarded because he doesn't understand how the kisses work. He was very confused. I almost feel like he's the one who curved her. Like he turned to the side to catch her face, and she got his cheek, and it was like, oh, well, I guess this is fine. There's not there's not a lot to the ship. The ship is just kind of like a thing that happened.
Be gone, thought.
I send you to the Shadow Realm.
But yeah,
with my dark magician girl.
Oh goodness.
It's a thing.
It's there and therefore it is.
Yeah, people need the Pokemon. I gave up on. And the funny thing is that this is not even the worst of shipping wars we've gotten, because once they introduce Miss Serena, children everywhere will cream themselves and ruin lives.
Oh God!
It's beautiful for those who like watching 10-year-old carnage. If you don't like watching that, get the fuck out. Oh my goodness. Anywho, I think that's it. I think we're good here. I think we've covered everything we wanted to.
Bye bye Johto.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nick,
wait.
what?
Oh yeah. See, yeah. I was just briefly about the soundtrack. It was just briefly about the soundtrack. Secret Garden is a very English song, but it's still good.
English.
Give it a listen. Yeah, it's English. It's because the Japanese voice actor, the Japanese musician, the one that's singing the song, is singing all of it in English. But it's still a good song. Give it a listen. It's great.
It doesn't sound bad when I heard
it's a good song.
It never sounded bad when I heard it.
Yeah, good song. But yeah, like Terrell said, I think overall the movie is like the movie has great presentation, but the substance inside of it kind of fails, I think. So it's like, yeah, you got great graphics and you got great soundtrack, but when your story's kind of copied and pasted, it's not going to hold up as well as you thought. And
that's
I
when
think
you know it's time to stop.
Right.
Filthy Frank, where are you when I need you? I need the meme. Nah, I'm lying. I'm not putting the meme up here. Don't ask me.
Okay.
So yeah, we've said goodbye to Johto, and we're moving into Hoenn. And the next film we do will be Jirachi and the Witchmaker, which
fucking Max movie.
I don't know. See, Tyrone has his feelings. I can't tell if his feelings are towards the film or because of who the character that gets. Okay.
Jesus.
So it's not the film itself. It's more that
fucking
it's
Max.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting because Tyrone has a very big aggression towards Max.
Well, he's not the only one.
Well, that and Dawn.
Well, yeah, I'm more surprised by Max than Dawn. Dawn is understandable.
Yeah, fucking Max.
Hashtag fucking Max in the comments, everybody.
Throw them out.
Actually, because I'm curious how people feel about Jirachi. Jirachi's kind of a weird film, actually. Especially when you don't talk about Manaphy next to it.
Oh boy.
Which is what makes it a weird film.
Now, I am going to have to fully watch this one over again. There's bits and pieces I remember, but I'm going to have to give this one a good
doing
analyze.
that anyway, god damn it.
No, I am. I'm watching them, but this one is I have to probably make a research paper.
Yeah, movies 6 and 7 are going to be those films for me, especially 7. 7 is kind of a blur to me.
Woo!
The only thing I remember about movie 7 is kind of like movie 5 is that it has a fucking great presentation. If I remember right, movie 7 looked fucking beautiful when I first saw it. And then they went right back to the old school style for movie 8. That was weird. Because movie 7 I have only seen once. No, I'm lying. I've seen it twice, but it was around the same time it came out. 6 is actually in the same tier. Actually, 6 was, I think, the last film I watched on VHS. Because I actually still have the VHS for movie 6. Whereas everything after that I got on DVD. I retroactively went and rebought on DVD. So this This should be interesting. I'll say that. Movie 6 should be interesting. But yeah, that's something for people to look forward to and to see. And maybe you'll get to hear something about Tyrone's trauma and why he hates Max so much. Because technically, not everyone. I don't think people know that. I don't think that's I think that needs to get. If they didn't get bring up here, it needs to be brought up in like a Pokemon Crystal part. Like, what is Tyrone's issue with Max? Or maybe he can make a video about it. I might be asking too much though. I know he's busy.
Well, technically, they have to wait like 2 weeks anyways because next week.
They don't know about that yet. And that actually is irrelevant to me because this video won't go up until you guys are that weekend anyway. So.
Oh fuck.
To their knowledge, they're like, what's the big deal? Well, exactly. There isn't. Don't worry about it, guys. Shut the fuck up. Anywho.
And on that note,
it's time to go, folks, because I think at this point I might be dehydrated. I'm not sure. So anyways, look forward to the next review, which will be Pokemon.
I've been moving forward for that.
Movie 6, Jirachi and the Wishmaker. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your thoughts and comments about movie 5 and what you guys think. Even your ratings, your top for the first 5 films. What are your rankings of the 5 films or the 3 Johto films? Mm-hmm. And we'll try to do this after every generation. So the next time we do it will be at the end of May's film, right? The Manaphy film.
Yeah, Jirachi Wishmaker. I mean, not Jirachi Wishmaker.
Goddamn, Jirachi's that far away. Goddamn, Tyrone.
No, the Poke Ranger in the Temple of the Sea. God damn it.
The goddamn Poke Ranger in the goddamn Temple of the Sea. God damn it. By the way, we love pirates. Anyways.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Okay, stop. Anyways, life's a game. Play to win. We will catch you guys for the next one. So I hope you join us there. Click subscribe and the notification bell to get all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys later. Peace.
Door.
Bye.
Oh my goodness.
Door.